Hey everybody, it says I'm live. Hello. So I tried to record this. It didn't work. Trying to do new moon in Pisces. Something is up with sound. It's like OBS isn't working to record audio. I get video, I don't get the audio. I have this on loop back. If I like slow down or whatever, it's because I'm listening to myself speak as I'm speaking. I tried to record it, and there's a very like thick Neptunian energy. To the point where I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go live. When I go live, sometimes it's easier to engage certain energies. Fate and get creative. Okay, so I'm not gonna read full. I'm not gonna do this how I usually do this. Fate and get creative is interesting. It's almost coming in with an energy that I was kind of sort of talking about earlier today, which makes sense. Um, but it's like fate is giving us the materials. Get creative is asking for us to put them together in a new way. It what was it? The Fool came out with the Six of Pentacles and the Seven of Wands, but it feels like a magician energy. Destruction and the Alchemist came out as an energy for now. The what to keep in mind manifestation came out in reverse because I had the whole deck in reverse. And what we have to gain came out as ask body. Ask body is that part of us that intuitively knows basically everything. The spark of the divine that we're created in, that which is connected to the all. That's what we have to gain. Destruction and the alchemist. I saw destruction and I was like, oh, I don't know about this energy. And I was like, Neptune, please, please, Neptune, don't do this. I say good things about Neptune, And it's like Neptune, I can't be saying good things about you, and now you are here doing this to folks. But that aside, the alchemist can use destruction to create something new. The alchemist can recognize that it's a part of the process, and it can use that part of the process to its advantage. Now, there's this internal alchemical energy that we are. We are the alchemist. Fate and get creative is trying to get us to realize that we're the alchemist. Okay. You can hear all that. Wow. I didn't know my mic was so sensitive. Also, I'm running Nahimic. It's an audio program. I don't know if that makes it better or worse, but it's fine. Chino may bark outside. My mom may talk. People in the house may talk. Chino may bark. It's whatever. Fade and get creative. It's exactly what it seems like. What's at the bottom? Bottom of the deck is the Magi. Well, there's that magician energy I was feeling. If you can't, it's fine. You see the Magi. The cards you ain't gonna be able to see today. The audio was whatever. It's like there's this, and I talked about it. I'm gonna link the video. I'm gonna upload it unlisted. Link it in the description box if you're curious. I want to check it out. But there is a fog. There's a lighthouse. There's a ship. And it's like the fog is not only disrupting the light from the lighthouse, but it's also disrupting the noise from the ship. The ship is blowing its horn, trying to get the attention of the people on the land because the ship knows it's getting close, but it can't see exactly where the coastline is because the light from the lighthouse is being instructed. And so there's this like audio and visual sort of disruption going on. I guess I've heard of Neptune ruling the media and Medea. Medea's story is pretty tragic. I think she gets a not great rep in a lot of ways. She was like a high priestess type of energy. She was basically used for her gift, and her journey was one of trying to return home. And so maybe she did some less than savory things. She did what she had to do in the moment to survive. But it comes across as like an energy that was taken out of context and then trying to force into another situation, used for the gain and benefit of some individual. There's also, it's like there's a new land forming. There's that new land energy again. It's like when the mist blows away, there's a whole new continent or area to explore. And we're Dora, we're the explorers. So let's do underlying influences and aspects. The anchor. It's like anchor in reality. What grounds you to your reality? What inviolable principles do you hold? What are some ways that you view the world where it must always be that way, regardless of how it presents itself, right? That's it. That's the energy. It's like limiting beliefs, but when it comes to like the whole world, basically, because then it keeps the world becoming anything else. And a lot of being a human is perception. A lot of our reality is perception. And so things could change, but if your perception doesn't change to match it, then you basically get the same experience. That's the underlying aspect. Bottom of the deck over here is the Two of Coins. So, yeah, this perspective where we're anchoring ourselves, the whole world sort of hangs on these threads in the balance. There you go. You can kind of see it. Everything is low key kind of tragic today, but that's fine. This is going to go up. I'm probably going to take a nap. I woke up a lot earlier than I wanted to. What are the more apparent aspects and influences? I'll take it in this. Something about this Pisces energy or this Pisces season for me, I'm like, what is happening with the full moon Virgo? What's happening with New Moon in Pisces? What's going on? But I was also talking about how basically the game is rewriting itself because of the choices that we've made, because of the things that we sort of put on the menu. Now the cooks and the chefs in the back have to figure out how to do it. How to make it real. Y'all can hear everything. I didn't know this mic was this sensitive. I guess that's it. Ain't nothing coming out. I'll give it 5 more. Let me see these. Oops, okay. Last one. Bottom of the deck is the ruler of coins. Okay. Ruler of coins here. King of coins energy. Saw the king of coins at the bottom of the deck earlier, and it had sort of the same energy. Two of coins is over here. Underlying is the two of coins. A balance. Not necessarily a balance, but it's very like adjacent possibilities energy. It's like things can kind of sort of tip either way at this point. But where we see it, it's fixed. It's the Taurian King of Cups, King of Pentacles, King of Coins, Ruler of Coins energy. What we don't know is how fragile this actually is. And I think that's what makes this anchor energy so limiting in a way, I guess. Because it's like we think of the earth as one thing, but it's not as fixed as it is, as we think it is. It's a lot more responsive than we think. And it may be responding to things that we haven't yet necessarily begun to respond to, but there are energies that are already here. It's a very like moon sun energy. When the moon rolls around, it begins to pull, even if it's nighttime and you can't see it. So it's not until the day that you see, oh my gosh, the moon did something and now the banks have flooded, or we see it later. But the body intuitively is impacted by lots of things. It's disruptions in the personal, collective, Earth's electromagnetic fields, solar radiation, Schumann resonance, like all kinds of things that we're affected by before we necessarily feel the fullness of the effects. Like it begins to pull and sway. And that's kind of sort of here somewhere. So here's the Seeker of Coins. I love the Seeker of Coins. Seeker of Coins says wisdom is the key to unlocking this new earth, basically. To is wisdom, key is the key, the seed is the earth. Eight of Coins and Sovereign of Wands just came out. Eight of Coins is giving me an energy of like careful how you weave your story, or the stories that we weave, the tales that we tell. All of those, it's threading into whatever it's threading. All these coins. What coins do we have? We have another key, two teeth, two keys, two teeth, two root systems, two crystals. The crystals are the lowest, they're the densest. Communication, a network is the level above that, and the highest level is wisdom. Let's say wisdom is spirit. Let's say the roots are mental, the crystals are physical. Well, we see the tooth and the key and the new earth here. What we don't see is the network in between, the ways in which they connect. The Queen of Swords, Queen of Pentacles at the end of the reading I posted earlier today. I don't remember what I titled it. Like, that's the understanding that we get, an understanding of the network and how the network runs between spirit and the earth. The other card is the Sovereign of Wands. This is the light of who we are. This is who we show the world we are. It's not who we think we are. It's not who we are on the inside. It's not who we would be if everything were perfect. It's how we appear in the world. The Queen of Wands typically carries an energy that the world finds appealing, alluring. And it's like this isn't necessarily anything new or groundbreaking. But the level at which we're going to be coming into the ability to use it is. And the anchor, it could also be like when I said be careful of how you weave your own story and how like this you showing up in the world with us thinking it's fixed, but it's actually in a space of like hanging in the balance almost. Now this energy actually is really good. The positive sort of progressive aspect to this is everything that I was talking about earlier. This is us being personally fixed in a way that who did the Three of Swords. Oh my gosh, look, there's another Three of Swords blockage. That's that wall that we were hitting earlier with the Two of Wands and the Two of Pentacles. Yeah, it was Two of Pentacles, Two of Wands, Three of Swords. Two of Pentacles was the choice and the decision to do something new, that what we're doing isn't working. Two of Wands is the journey to bring that into action, to be the Queen of Wands who shines that out into the world for the world to mirror that light back to us. But then that Three of Swords wall came that sort of stopped us from going all the way or from intensifying the intention to the point where it comes in. Hey Zelda, how you doing today? But behind the Three of Swords is the Justice card. And it's carrying an energy almost of sacrifice because of the sword and the scales. Behind Justice is the Hermit. Yeah. It's almost carrying an energy of sacrifice because it's like our wings were clipped for a while. You see that? The clipped wings, it's like stitched together, but now justice is coming to rectify things. So all of the things that we've sort of like come to know of Earth, all of the ways in which we were already fixed, it may be time to switch that And once we switch that and root that new thing, it adds weight to one of these pinnacles over the other pinnacle. It begins to shift the dynamic on a larger scale. And that's what this is about. So it's going to be different for everybody. Like the things that you have to keep in mind, what to recall, the things from the previous full moon and new moon cycles, your current energy, and then what you have to gain is different. It's going to be different for all of us. But the overall theme was one of like, in the current moment, it's about transformation in self that leads to or coincides with external transformation, destruction in the alchemist. The alchemist knows that in order to make gold, like if we're turning lead into gold for some reason, talking about the alchemist, right? But if we're turning lead into gold, we know that this metal's life as lead is over. This metal's identity as lead, this metal's properties of lead, all of that has to end before it becomes gold. Like when it becomes gold, it's now gold. It holds the conductance of gold, it holds the value of gold, the weight of gold. It's indistinguishable from gold. It is gold. Everything lead is over. It's in the past. It's a previous life. Same incarnation, past life. That's destruction of the alchemist, the things that we have to allow to fall away. And that's where this like anchor, this King of Pentacles, sort of Page of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles, Queen of Wands energy can kind of sort of take us either way. Because it's like we can want to be gold, but we hold into everything lead. And it's like, okay, well, you can't become gold if you're still calling yourself lead, you're living like lead, and you're continuing to express all the properties of lead. And for me, I feel like I don't want to get back into the self toxic thing that I like. Yesterday, I realized that I have a bad habit of minimizing my own problems and experiences. And like, my life isn't that hard. My life isn't that difficult. Like, other people have it worse. I should be able to do this. Like, I don't want to complain. I don't want to make a big deal. Like, I'll figure it out. It's not that big of a deal. And so I'm not trying to minimize anything anymore. And I already lost my complete train of thought, but that's one of the many breakthroughs I came across yesterday when I was like, wow, I wasn't that great to myself. And that paired with other things, just, oh, that's what I was talking about. It created this perfect storm for me. Like there are things that I've gone through that may not be anything to someone else. There are things that other people have gone through that I could easily come out of. Like I could go through and come out with significantly less scars. But that isn't necessarily my challenge. And so that's not one of the things that was positioned in my life for me to learn and get through. And so that's what this sort of is. It's like our challenges are unique. Our approaches are unique. Our results are unique. And so, with this Pisces new moon and this Piscean season, with Pisces being that which is the typically, stereotypically, the most connected to the divine, with horizons and lands and everything, potential expanding so infinitely right now because of all of the flux and change happening on the planet right now, because of what we've been asking for, because of what we're now doing and positioning ourselves to receive. It's going to be different for everybody. So I would say, like, knowing who you are and how you are, the way I feel like, and that's the gathering of all these threads. This Eight of Swords is gathering all these threads with all these coins on it, or in them. Threads, coins in the threads. And it's almost like it's picking the ones that no longer fit. It's unweaving while simultaneously weaving. But that's that alchemical, alchemizing something into gold energy. It came out with Mithras on the sun when I got the Tarot Apocalypsis. It's the sun beyond the sun, the Mithras beyond the Helios. It's that unlocking of the eighth gate that lies beyond the seventh. And then there's another eight beyond the seven, right? That came out earlier today too. Maybe that's why I couldn't do this so generally. But again, that magician energy is on the bottom. So we on the bottom we have the magician, basically the king of pentacles and the two of pentacles. The world will be what you make it. Careful what you define your world to be with the anchor. That's what I got. Okay. So I think maybe that was all the trouble. The trouble was trying to get something so defined from Neptune and Pisces. And Neptune is like, sorry, I am going to get, I guess, final messages though. Shuffle these up before I put them away. This is interesting. So for me, again, it's been related to my own personal challenges. And these tiny little things that I've been telling myself this whole time are ways that I am with myself this whole time that just like when I figured it out yesterday, I was like, oh my gosh, it blew my mind. It was so subtle, so like sneaky and small. Strength. I love this. So we got big boy strength coming out. This is major strength. Minor, pre, and major strength has been a theme lately. The card that fell out is the anchor. The anchor in strength. This is having the strength to more firmly anchor ourselves into that new and to basically be bare. On the sun card, the baby is naked. Naked baby on a horse. Shout out to Rob. Um, but there's a certain energy of rebirth. There's a certain energy of being willing to experience the world again, letting go of our preconceptions in the history, not dismissing the history, but opening ourselves up to really fully experience something new. And then there's the nakedness. And it's interesting. It speaks of shame because it's like if Adam went back to the Garden of Eden, like God already knew that they had eaten the fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. He already knew. And I guess, I've been watching some movies lately. And there's this one character who is just so extra. And it's like, you don't have to do all this. I'm not saying that God is extra and that he ain't have to do all of what he did, but Old Testament God wasn't necessarily the same as New Testament God. If you read the Bible, you'll find that out real quick. But that's why Jesus came. Jesus came because it was like, like earth is kind of hard. So maybe we can give him a break a little bit, be a little more lenient or understanding. But anyway, it's shame. Shame is what got Adam and Eve kicked out of the garden. After they ate the fruit, they knew they were naked. They were ashamed to have their genitals exposed. God is like, okay, all of a sudden, one day I come direct my focus or attention towards the garden and y'all wearing clothes. Like, what are these leaves for? Hello? And then Adam was like, oh, well, we're naked. So we put on clothes. And God is like, well, how do you know you're naked? Like, you've been naked this whole time. And then it kind of sort of goes back to that, like the things that we're born with, those things and characteristics that are innately us that we learn to hide away and to shove to the back. From the 5 to the 3 of cups. And so that sun energy is a release of the shame. No longer afraid to be naked, no longer hiding or covering up whatever scars or whatever unique birthmarks or whatever we've been convinced to hide and put away. No more of that. And then it carries us forward on that white horse, right? White horse was in the Reaper, in the Death card that came out with the Witch's Tarot earlier. But that's the anchor and strength. I ain't telling people to like literally go streaking or like go walking around naked or whatever. Like if that's your thing, then like, all the more to you. But that's kind of sort of, and it's like the moon hides, right? The leaves over the boobs and the over the genitalia. That's the moon card. Sun card, like we're taking it up. But again, I feel there's this energy of like we wouldn't be able to really understand the tree of life without the knowledge of good and evil. It's just navigating shame after we do that. Right? Potentially. Okay, let's see what comes out over here. There's Chino. Right on time. Why did that song just pop into my mind? I just can't get you out of my head. What I think about. I don't know. Okay. Bottom of the deck is the Conqueror of Coins. The card that came out is the Seeker. Page into the Knight of Coins. The Seeker and the Conqueror. I like Seeker and Conqueror today. Seek and you shall find. Oh my gosh. Look what's on the sword. So the sword was connected to the Three of Swords. We had our wings clipped. We were injured. We were hurt. Life on Earth is hard. Can't be hard. Life on Earth. Historically, life on Earth has been historically difficult. Who knows what the future holds for humanity and all of Earth. But it's like this clipping of the wings that we went through in the past. And then there was the sword of justice that brings the scales into balance. Now here we see the sword and the 8 of coins and then the seeker of coins. The missing element between the crystal or the earth and the wisdom that comes from the divine was the understanding of the network in between. Conqueror of coins, his one coin is the network. That's why it works. Eclipse energy between the sun and the moon. It's about aligning the internal and the external. It's that rebalancing or rebranding of that Sovereign of Wands energy and how we shine out. We're anchoring ourselves in something that we actually want and desire. I love that because it's the network that's now on the sword at a position that's pretty high. I mean, whenever I see an Ace of Swords, I like to look at how much space is between the crown and the hilt of the sword, because the hilt of the sword is where you hold it. If the crown is all the way like above the blade or towards the top of the blade, it's not, or how I intuitively get it, it's not necessarily easy information to grasp. It's new. Now, sometimes we come across some new information. It's like, oh, this is like similar, or I can see how this makes sense. And so we can use it fairly readily. This, however, roots come from the ground. This is an elevating energy. Ace of Swords is it's a knowledge and information descending energy. I love this. Oh my gosh. Okay. To all the seekers out there, seekers and conquerors, we are more than conquerors. That's a song that we used to sing back in the day in church. I wish I could remember the words. We are more than conquerors. That's all I know. All I can remember. And then it's like, who can separate us from the breath? The breath that I breathe. What is the rest of the song? The only 2 lines I can remember is like, who can separate us from the breath? And we are more than conquerors. Life on Earth historically separates us from the breath. That's why connecting with the breath is such a huge thing in like mindfulness and things like that. But with that question of who can separate us from the breath, and with the answer being we are more than conquerors, there's nothing that can separate us from the breath. We're always connected to the breath. We're constantly breathing. Chino agrees. That's him co-signing outside. 2 cards just on the floor, apparently, because none of my decks want to stay together. It's fine. Girl, I can't afford to keep missing cards. Ooh, face down. Let's see what it is. 3 cards. Okay, now y'all want to talk? Whatever. Two of them came or picked them up in reverse. Manifest is in reverse again. So manifest in reverse was carrying an energy of like we've basically already planted these seeds. Now it's a time of sprouting. It's not that you can't manifest new things, but there have been things again. It's that energy of establishing a foundation that you didn't yet know you were establishing, and then there's things silently moving into place. When it begins to make sense, when you feel the call to move, you're also going to be. It's not there isn't going to be any anxiety, fear, worry, or hesitation, but you're going to act on it. With ask body in reverse, it's saying listen. Like yesterday, I've been wanting to cook for a minute. My body has been craving a meal, a cooked meal by me, but or just in general. And I went to the store, and there was a Little Caesars. Little Caesars is known for a very inexpensive, not always the best pizza. I was like, you know what? It's something. I got it. Last time I got it, it was pretty good. Yesterday, I got it, and it wasn't good at all. And I was like, wow. Oh, after it was trash, I was like, oh, I forgot. I promised my body I would cook today, but I didn't. So it's actually listen. I think there's also, it speaks of like energetic demands. If your body, like if you're feeling tired, rest. Your body may be, yeah, your body may be preparing you for something because your body already knows. Again, it's like the body intuitively knows these things. The body is connected energetically to a whole bunch of stuff. And so if your body's like, hey, like I need this, or hey, like let's do this more, I'd say listen to it. Because with this influx of manifestation, there may be some very energetically demanding times, like some things coming up that's gonna require some energy from you. So it's gonna be like, wow, I'm glad I rested when I felt, you know, got it to rest. And then the sleep tonight because we revolt tomorrow with the revolutionary. Revolutionary actually came out on the space of the challenge from the divine when I did those cards. This is an energy. It's one over the divine. It's like if there were a council, if there was a courtroom, and someone was representing humanity or whatever, I don't know. This is the, it's like you were pleading on behalf of humanity to shift or change things. Because it's like, before the divine had a fairly hands off policy. We don't interfere. We believe in free will. We will not violate someone's free will. And then it's like, well, things down there are pretty bad and it's not necessarily fair. The choices isn't necessarily free when one side is so heavily weighted. And so it's like with manifest and ask body in reverse coming into the revolutionary, it's like now spirit is like, okay, we're gonna move. Bottom of the deck was boundaries. Talked about boundaries earlier, going beyond the boundaries. Now it's going to be, things are going to be moving in a way maybe that they weren't working before. Energies may be presenting themselves in a way that they weren't necessarily presenting themselves before. There's an elevation here. You can do more, work with more. We've outgrown the old limits. Also, it doesn't hurt to have healthy boundaries. So if that's a thing for you, then, do it. Okay. How does this end up being? 33 minutes. There it is. All right. Final message is death, which is that confirmation. Oh my gosh. Death is the card that came out. Y'all can't see it. Sorry. Hold it. Death came out. Surrender is here. Let me turn this on. Maybe that'll help. Yeah, there you go. Now you can see it a little better. Death. Let me turn this on. There we go. There we go. Death came out. Bottom of the deck is surrender. Mm. Oh. Remember, I think it was yesterday. I was talking about that whatever energy that it was, it felt like a chariot. And it's like It's like things are going fairly slow, but the divine is about to hit accelerate. That's that energy with death and surrender. It's like, don't, like, just let it happen. You've proven your case and we're honoring it. So be prepared. It's the, it's receiving all that you've been manifesting. We're coming into a season of renewal, rebirth, and receiving. And I think it's going to be a lot. And it's to be energetically open to receive it. However, you can make yourself or encourage energetic receptivity within you. Yin Yang came out a lot earlier today. Whatever you can do to be more energetically receptive to everything, that may be where this moon cycle in Pisces is leading you. There were things that I was very, very adamantly not in a space of even really considering. But it wasn't until yesterday that I realized how much of a violation of me as an individual that is, or that was. Again, I was completely justified in it. That's not the point. I choose to be more me. I choose to be free. Okay. All right. I hope you have a good whatever whenever you see this. I hope that you are acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. And with that, happy new moon, Pisces. Pisces season almost over. We're going to be hitting that full moon in Libra in like 2-ish weeks, I guess. Libra season. Aries season coming up. Spring is coming up, northern hemisphere. Autumn is coming up, southern hemisphere. So we're going to be reaching that point where the night is equal to the day. And then after that point, the days get longer until the summer equinox. Did I say spring solstice? It's the spring equinox. Equinox, equal night and day. Solstice is when they get shorter or longer, the days. So we're going to be in a space of equal night and equal day, northern hemisphere. And then the days are going to get longer until the summer solstice. And so again, it's that like parting of the clouds, the coming of the sun. I was talking to one of my friends and she was like, I didn't realize how harsh this winter was. Now that it feels like spring is coming, it's like, wow, like there's been a lot this winter. Anyway, that's what I got. Bye. Have a good one.